How you doing, sir?
Hello YouTube, I'm DoctorTactical and I'm coming to you live from Prairie Fire, which is Staccato's facility here in Pahrump, Nevada. That's right, Pahrump's not just for brothels anymore. Actually, this particular facility used to be owned by Front Sight, which was a great facility in its own right, but Staccato's taken over and done some incredible stuff. And I'm standing here in front of a cliff with a ridiculous desert wind coming at me. You know why? Because that's how much I love you guys. I'm willing to do that. Anyway, I had the opportunity here to shoot the new Staccato P4.0 HD, and I'm here to report back to you. All right. So this is the P4.5.
P4 HD P4.
HD P4. That's the HD P4.5. Yes. Okay, gotcha. And the Glock mag. Dish. Definitely me, not the gun. Very nice though, I really like it. Very nice. So I have had time now to watch all the videos out there that I could get my hands on and see all the hype that Staccato's put out, and finally went to Las Vegas, had the opportunity to go to Staccato's facility and play with the HD P4. I screwed this name up throughout the entire previous part of this video, so I'm going to try and keep it right now. The HD P4 and the HD P4.5. So had the opportunity to shoot them, had the opportunity to manipulate, handle, and really examine them. And I have formulated my own opinions here. And I'll tell you, there's one aspect of this new offering that I think will concern every dentist out there. And we'll get to that in a moment. But first, I want to say clearly I'm a Staccato fanboy. Those of you who've been watching the channel for a while know that. I've got my XC, I've got my C2, and I've got my CS, which was the result of last year's SHOT Show when I went to look at it. And yes, I'm going to end up with a HD P4 or 4.5. Haven't made up my mind. 4.5 isn't out yet. I think that comes out in April. But anyway, the P4 is now on the shelves as I understand it. So I shot the gun. I loved the gun. The safety block, it didn't faze me in the slightest. The trigger's still excellent. Staccato did a great overall job. Now, before I get to the dental issue here, I want to just briefly speak to the lack of a grip safety. So all these guns up here are unloaded and have been safety checked, although all the magazines up here are loaded. But to the best of my knowledge, a magazine won't go off by itself. But we're going to talk about the magazines because that's an important part of the new HD system. So here we have an XC, which clearly does have a grip safety. This, I think, is something that should be taken seriously. From a competitive shooting standpoint, this is a pain in the ass. From a self-defense shooting standpoint, this could potentially be a hazard if you're not holding the gun correctly. Because as I've said in previous videos, we practice all these perfect stances and grips, but you may very likely be in a physical altercation and you're reaching for, I guess I should probably be holding the CS. That's the more likely one I'd have in that situation. So you're gonna, you're more likely in some type of a physical altercation. You could be on the ground trying to shoot, and you may not have that perfect grip, and you may not be able to actuate the grip safety, and that would be problematic when you go to pull the trigger. So, from those two perspectives, I understand the purpose of removing the grip safety. A third perspective also, it also allows you to get a better bore access, a lower bore access, I should say, or a higher grip up on the gun, I guess would be more accurate with that not in place. So that's a benefit too. And as many of you also know, I don't like beaver tails. I want them as flat and rounded and non-exotic as possible. I know people get all crazy with these beautiful swooping ones. And for outside the waistband and for competition carry, outside the waistband, it's wonderful. But if you're tucking this thing in and you're even remotely fat, and you know what, even skinny people too, you still have to bend over, and having a spike on the end of the gun, the sharper and longer it is, the really the more damaging it can be. So, and the less likely you are to carry the gun if you're not comfortable. So, getting back to this, one of my favorite ways to carry is in something called the Smart Carry. Now, the Smart Carry, from a holster perspective, sucks. This is not it does protect the trigger. It does a nice job overall. Now, because you actually wear this down in your pants, so this is actually below your belt line, retention's not really an issue here. So I'm not worried about retention. So I don't mind the fact that this is really just more of a sort of a sack to hold the gun in, and it does a nice job, as I said. The problem is multiple times, and I said this in earlier videos, because it's embarrassing for me to have to admit that I was stupid enough to let this go to multiple times. I should have accepted it the first time. Multiple times I've had the safety, the main gun safety, flipped up when I left for the morning, and when I came home in the evening and went to take the gun off, because fortunately there were no altercations during the day, I found the safety off. That's a big deal. If you're carrying this thing around your pants and you don't have a grip safety, that means it's already unlikely that something's going to hit this main safety. The chances of something getting involved with the trigger, it's too scary. Having that grip safety makes me feel a little bit better about it. But that said, this is not a gun I will carry. Really, actually, I should say, there's no guns that you carry cocked and locked that I'm willing to carry in the Smart Carry. I think double action, single action, fine. Striker fire, depending on the gun, fine. But cocked and locked 1911, 2011 style guns, that are single action only, any single action only gun that you're carrying cocked and locked, this is something you're going to not use, or I would recommend strongly you do not use if you're going to carry it cocked and locked, because even with the grip safety, I was scared. And I think without the grip safety, it's just stupid. Okay. Anyway, that's not a knock on Staccato, and it's not a knock on the design. It's just something to keep in mind. I have a SIG P229 that I love, that's single action only, and it's a great gun, but I would not dare carry it in that because it also doesn't have a grip safety. But again, even if it had the grip safety, wouldn't do it. Okay, enough on that little soapbox of mine. So this gun is a great gun. Get yourself a nice, all these guns are nice guns. You get yourself a nice protective holster that's going to protect it and keep you safe. Now, the gun shot great, and I'm moving on to the HD. It shot great. It handled great. I love the feel of it. I like the size of it because of the new design that they are doing around the magazine. Now let's get to the dental issue here. First of all, when we look at the Staccato XC, this is a fairly large magazine. In fact, it's so large that if you try and use like one of these Uplula speed loaders, magazine loaders, it actually sticks inside because of the thickness of this. Because this isn't just a 9mm magazine, it also holds 38 Super, which I don't know anybody who uses in these, but nonetheless, it's a big magazine requiring a bigger grip, and it sort of changes the whole design since this is what the gun is designed around. They had the C, Staccato did. The C was a single stack, so that they were able to make it a little narrower from that respect, but still you're dealing with a magazine designed for 9mm and 38 Super, so it's bigger. They came out with the C2, which was a double stack because people wanted the small carryability. I think that's a word, carryability. Anyway, people wanted the carryability of the C, but they wanted more capacity, so they came out with the C2. And the C2, still 9mm and 38 Super, so it's still a wide magazine. This particular magazine holds 16 rounds, so it's a decent-sized magazine. So last year at SHOT Show, I had the opportunity to play with the CS. And the CS is actually a 9mm magazine. Now, I should also point out, I had the same problems with the Uplula on the C2 because it's all about the diameter of the magazine. It has nothing to do with the capacity. Well, the CS works very nicely with the Uplula because it's built around a 9mm, and it changed the grip structure. And I truthfully, I'm a huge fan of the CS. Love it. Just carry it in a good holster. But it is a great carry gun, and it's very ergonomic, and it just makes a lot of sense because you don't want a thick grip on a carry gun if you can avoid it, because that's something that will print also. So I'm a fan. Let's get to the dental concern here. Here we have my Glock 32. We got a Glock 32 magazine. So when we look at a Glock 32 magazine against our Staccatos XC magazine, you can see there's some significant differences. But one of the biggest is the plastic. Now, one of the things I found interesting, because all I heard about, one of the biggest things they were talking about regarding the new HD P4 and HD P4.5 is that they were built around a Glock style magazine. Well, they actually said, I heard Glock magazine, not Glock style. And I think it's important to emphasize Glock style. And the reason is, they didn't have, when I was out at Staccato at Prairie Fire shooting, they didn't have, that I saw, any actual Glock magazines. They had Metgar Glock style magazines. In other words, they were metal. And that's important. This is something, so let me explain to you where the dentistry comes into this. One of the things they pound into you in dental school is know your materials. So if you have somebody with natural teeth, say they have all their own upper natural teeth, and they have no lower teeth, and you make a denture for them for the lower, those lower teeth are plastic, and those upper teeth are going to wear the hell out of those lower teeth. Conversely, if you put porcelain, if you make those teeth out of porcelain on the denture, they will wear the upper teeth down. And that goes for crowns that people have. You really have to be cognizant of what the opposing arch has, because different materials are going to, when they're functioning with opposing materials, there's going to be a reaction of some sort, and you want things that match up nicely. So in the Staccato HD, what you have is a metal magazine release. And that magazine release is engaging the metal on the Glock style Metgar magazine. But they're saying Glock magazine. Now, will a Glock magazine work in there? 100%. I believe it will, yes. Did I get the opportunity to try it? No. But I really think it will work. I don't have any concerns about it working. My concern is long term. I think that the metal is going to wear the plastic. And you need to, this is something you need to check. If you're choosing to use plastic magazines routinely, I think, especially if this is a gun that you're going to consider carrying, you should take the time and check your magazine, check the status of it, because there's going to be some type of erosion on the catch. And what you don't want is to pull the trigger and have the magazine come flying out the end, which is a very real possibility if the important contoured edges get rounded by the hardness of the metal, because the metal will win this battle every time. All right, let's face it. I'm totally nitpicking. I love this gun, but I'm a dentist, and I think 4 out of 5 dentists will agree with me, and the other one's an idiot, because this is just fact. This is science. This is physics. You want like materials against each other, unless you want something to wear. Anyway, again, I fully endorse this. I know whenever I come up and say, I start something off saying, look, I like Staccato. Staccato's like, uh-oh, here it comes, because I did something with them with their ammunition when it came out. But I'll tell you, to their credit, they heard me, and they came out with some really, they made up for it and corrected the issues. And I tried it firsthand, and I can speak to that. So I'm a huge Staccato fan. I love what they do. And I love the fact that they built this around the Glock magazine. There's a lot of benefits, as I said, by getting rid of that, the grip safety. Now you got that lower bore access for you, or your hands up holding it up, so essentially a lower bore, which is really helpful, very comfortable. The gun's more ergonomic. There's a lot of benefits to this, and it's got got the safety block. they've done nice stuff, and I'm really looking forward to the 4.5 with the the fixed front sight out there. I love what they're doing, but if you're going to use the plastic magazines, Glock mags, just stay on top of it, because you don't want to be in a situation where you have a failure because of that. But the nice thing is, Mekgar is making really nice, much more expensive, I'm sure, magazines that are Glock style, or Glock-ish, if you will. So just keep that all in mind. All right, that's it. No more nitpicking. I'm Dr. Tactical. Thank you for watching. Dr. Tactical out.